Very eager to speak to the reigning, defending UFC featherweight champion, the one and only Alexander the Great Volkanovski, who has had quite the month. We have a lot to talk to this man about. We thought that we were going to see him in action a couple of weeks ago at UFC 260. Unfortunately, his fight against Brian Ortega got canceled. Then we weren't sure when he would return. And then we found out late Friday night that he's actually one half of the new coaching tandem on the new season of The Ultimate Fighter, which kicks off on ESPN Plus in the next few months. So we got a lot to get to here with Alex Volkanovski. First off, Alex, great to talk to you again. How are you doing?
Good, much better now. Much better now. Obviously, crazy turn of events. You know what I mean. I always talk about this roller coaster ride of a sport. You know what I mean, and it just shows you. It strikes again. I had best shape of my life. Finding out you get, you tested positive and going through all that, and then at least working out in the end. At least something's come out of it. So it's crazy, but hey, we just got to stay positive, keep moving forward. It'll all work out in the end.
Okay, so I actually want to kind of go chronologically here. So you're in Australia, preparing for your fight against Brian Ortega, UFC 260. By the way, did you spend any time in New Zealand for this camp, or was it all in Australia?
All in Australia. So yeah, we're still struggling with obviously with the COVID. There's a lot of restrictions to get in New Zealand's very difficult right now. So even the guys that need to go back home, they need vouchers to get back home. They sometimes got to wait months just to get back home and get a voucher. So it's pretty difficult for that to happen. But we did everything at Freestyle Fighting Gym. We just bring a whole heap of guys to us, and camp was good. Camp was really good.
Yeah, you appear to be in phenomenal shape just based on your Instagram and social media. Do you remember when you got to America, what the date was?
We got there 2 weeks before I was meant to fight. So we ended up going early because Brad Riddell was fighting, and he's always in my corner, and we wanted to be there because he couldn't have his whole team. Again, with all the New Zealand and their COVID restrictions, it makes it difficult for them to get back home. So we wanted to be there and support. And obviously my coach helped coach and things like that. So we were there early. So we were there 2 weeks before my fight. Usually we go a week before, and we were there 2 weeks, and I had to finish my last hard week of training in Vegas while we were there in support of Brad Riddell.
And of course, Brad was getting ready to fight Gregor Gillespie a week before your fight. So that was March 20th. So I'm assuming you arrived around March 13th or so. When did
14th,
you start?
I think.
Okay, yep. When did you start feeling sick, and what did you start to feel?
Well, yeah, we did everything right. The UFC did everything right. We went into the bubble. So obviously I tested negative to get on the plane, tested negative to get in the bubble. Everything we did was great, and then we were training, and then got tested again later that week on the Friday. The day before Brad Riddell was meant to fight, and that's when I got the news, that I was positive. Obviously you're just like, what? It was a shock. You know what I mean? Obviously it was devastating news. You know what I mean? I was in such good nick. It's been a while since I fought. I just want to get in there. You know what I mean? I wanted to go in and perform, and to hear that news, Sean Shelby rang me up and like, look, sorry man, but we'll test you again. We'll make sure this ain't a false positive or whatever. But it's just that's what happened. So it was a tough news to hear. But
At that point, did you feel any symptoms?
Well, to be honest with you, I was feeling I was getting headaches, some headaches beforehand, like a couple of days before. I was starting to get a couple of headaches, and like maybe congestion. I mean, you're always dry. Like when I come to Vegas, I always feel a little dry and stuff. So I didn't think nothing of that. And then I started having little headaches, and I kept even talking to my team, like, man, I keep getting headaches here and there. I'm thinking maybe I'm not drinking enough water. It wasn't too much symptoms by then. So I was just, I'll drink water and I'd feel better anyway. I was still training really hard at the time. I was able to get through the session. So I was like, oh, maybe I'm just dehydrated or something like that. So I did start getting a couple of little symptoms before I found out, I was positive.
Okay. And then did it ever get, because obviously by now we've talked to so many people who have had COVID. Everyone knows someone, many people have had it. Some people don't feel anything. Some people feel a little bit. Some people feel a lot. For you, and I was wondering, and this is without me even talking to you, you're cutting weight your immune system is probably a little compromised. How did you react to it all?
Yeah, man. Well, that's what's it's crazy about this. You know, me coming into, obviously I've always taken COVID serious and whatnot, and you know, you hear people like, "Oh, you're healthy people, you're all right," but I'll be honest, it got me good, and you know, I'll explain it and give you a few details, you know, that you probably aren't aware of. But you know, I started getting the normal symptoms, and they were hitting me pretty hard. The headaches got bad, the fevers got bad, sweating all night, you know, really struggling to sleep and things like that, and body aches, my back hurting. So then, and you hear a lot of these symptoms through people I was talking to. So you know, that was you know, just, you know, all right, these are normal symptoms. But then it started getting a little more serious. So like we end up started realizing, you know, my lungs started hurting a little bit, where, you know, maybe this happens a fair bit too. But I'm like, all right, you know, started like, you know, hurting to breathe. And we started sort of really wanting to pay attention to everything when I started coughing up, and my phlegm started coming out pinky, you know, with little specks of blood and like pinky. So, you know, we're thinking, I was lucky enough to have Geordie, the fight dietitian. He's my nutritionist, and he knows a little bit. So he knew like that's something we need to look at because that's probably blood in the lungs.
Wow.
And you know, so we need to maybe look into this. So we end up talking to the UFC, and you know, we hit them up and go, look, you know, we're starting to, you know, get a, you know, sore sort of chest, and like, you know, hurting to breathe, you know, yawning and things like that was hurting. Couldn't get deep breaths. So we're like, and we're coughing up a bit of like pinky mucus at the time. And they're like, you know, maybe I think we want to, you know, get a checkup. Just, you know, go get a checkup. So the UFC again were great through the whole process. They're going, all right, no worries. You know, you had to get an ambulance there because remember, I'm positive. I can't just rock up to the hospital and walk through. So they had to get an ambulance. And once I knew that, I'm like, what? Like, this is a bit much. I just want to check up, you know what I mean? So I was like doing my head in at the time, but you know, this has had to be done. UFC, like, look, this is how we have to do it. So we went there and got a checkup, and that's when we found out, you know, I don't know too much about it, but I had COVID pneumonia. So, you know, the pneumonia in the lungs, and like we'd done a scan and we could see the infection was in the lungs, but it was still a mild case at the time. You know, my oxygen levels were good. You know, so he just, like, they said, look, we can take you back, but we need you to keep an eye on your oxygen levels. You know, I was lucky enough where my Geordie, the fight dietitian, had like the oximeter. The UFC were going to give me one, like to take back. We're like, oh no, we've got it covered. We've got one. But keep an eye on it. If you hit 93 and under, come straight back to the hospital. And that's when, you know, we were, you know, come back, and, you know, again, I was still getting fevers and whatnot. And the fevers started to maybe go away, but the lungs started hurting more and more. So I felt like some of the symptoms started going away, the COVID symptoms, but my lungs started getting worse. My oximeter, I'm usually at 99, 100. You know what I mean? Like my lungs are good, really good usually. And then, you know, the fight, Geordie knows this as well, so he's aware of that, and we're starting to see it start to decline, my oxygen levels, and they started fluctuating under 93. At the time, they would still go up, they'll fluctuate. So I didn't want to panic too much. I didn't want to go back to hospital. So, you know, there's videos of you know, the oximeter going 91, and which is low, very low for me. And I was told, you know, if you hit the numbers, we need to probably look again. So it was a couple of days this was happening. My cough started spitting up more blood and
Wow.
and phlegm. And then again, I had my team saying, look, we need to go back. And I was you know, being stubborn and being, you know, a fighter. I'm like, man, you know, let's just see how it goes. You know, my oxygen levels still come up and down. They fluctuate. They're sometimes coming back up. But then the last day, I think on the Tuesday, I went for the first checkup. And then on the Friday, this is a week later, I wake up, and then that's when I started coughing up even more blood. So the blood just got worse and worse.
Wow.
So I end up coughing up a bit of blood. So obviously it was always pinky mucusy and then blood, like, so blood, and it was pretty consistent. You know, I'd cough and blood would come up. And that's when, you know, we told the UFC, look, we said, you know, sent them the photos and said, look, our oxygen levels are going low. I think we should we might need to get another checkup. So that's when we, after, everyone talking me into it, I end up going. I again had to jump in the ambulance. They had to chuck me in the bloody, on the stretcher thing, the gurney, whatever you call it. And I'm like, far out, man, I just want to check up. Obviously, I've heard it, but I'm all right. I can still bloody walk to the ambulance and things like that. So I didn't want to be, I didn't want to look too much of a, pansy type thing, if you get me. So we end up going there, and that's when the doctors end up doing another scan, and then we found out the infection got worse.
Wow.
So the infection got worse. It spread even more through the lungs. So like they said that it just lit up through my lungs and whatnot. And they told me, you're going to have to stay in the hospital for a few days and get on some medication. So, they told me that I'll be on, dexamethasone, which is, I think it's a type of a steroid anti-inflammatory for the lungs. And obviously you SADA approved. So, I made sure they said them words. I'm like going, well, is this all good? But obviously I was in contact with the UFC doctor, Dr. Davison. He was great through the whole process. And yeah, the doctors said, look, you're going to have to be on some, antibiotics, the steroids, and, you're going to have to be in the hospital for a little while. So that's when I was like, all right, so maybe this isn't just a normal case. But yeah, so that's what I mean. Like, it started off just normal sort of symptoms. The symptoms were pretty nasty for COVID symptoms, but then the lungs just started deteriorating type thing. It's just, I needed the medication to start helping.
Wow. I had no idea it got that serious. So how do you feel right now? I'm
much better now. The medication each day just got better and better. So it shows that, it's just tough because I was in fit. There was a real worry for me. This is something that really stressed me out. And again, you've got Google, right? You're sitting on Google and my heart rate started getting really low. And I was like, what's going on here? Why is my heart rate just each day getting lower and lower and lower? And, while I was in there, because they had me on the heart rate monitor like 24/7, the first night I was in there, they're doing checkups, and the nurse tells me like, oh, they just want me to do some checkups because your heart rate's getting low. It's getting 37 beats a minute, which is, I'm low. I'm usually fit, healthy. I get low, but 37's very low, and I'm like, all right. And then, so that sort of freaked me out because I talked to the doctors the day before, and they're like, can it get into the heart and things like that? Because I did Google it, and I was aware that my levels and my heart rate was getting lower. And they go, look, it can, you'd really feel it in your chest, and your heart rate will get lower. So I was aware that low heart rate can be a problem. So that was scary for me, and so that started happening. And then, lucky enough, the doctors end up assuring me after me asking them that, look, your heart's fine. We've been doing tests. They obviously done blood tests and seen that the heart was fine. But my heart rate ended up getting lower again. The next day, I remember all night, my average was 37, and I got down to like 35 beats a minute, and which is just low. Like, you know what I mean? You're sitting there, and I'm like, man, like, I'm not usually this low. Like, I'm always low 40s, maybe. But that was just, so that was freaking me out. But as soon as the doctor said, look, you're right, you're just a very healthy, fit, at the end of the day, I'm, UFC champion. I'm a fit human being. But it sort of shows you that, was it affecting me, or look how healthy and fit I was, and look what it still did to me. I needed medication again. I mean, if I was unfit, or if I was overweight or had underlying problems, this could have got, really, really serious. You can see why people obviously pass away. So it was a bit of a shock to me, like, to be like, man, why am I copping this so much harder than everyone? I had other guys in the team that tested positive that with me. Some of them had the symptoms, some didn't have too many symptoms, but I went through the whole 9 yards where, it rocked me. I was in bed for days, you know what I mean? And sleeping until 12 o'clock in the day and just not doing nothing, not eating all day. And, you know what I mean? It got pretty nasty, and, coughing up blood, and, struggling to breathe and all that type of stuff. So, again, I'm glad, the UFC were great for the whole process, and did a great job. So we went there, and the medication was good. But right now, obviously, I'm much better. I'm even able to train a little bit now. The doctors told me, look, we need to ease into this. Right now I'm only about 50% training,
Oh.
and then I'm going to have to slowly pick it up. So I can only keep it low right now, but much better, feeling so much better. As you can see, I've got my color back. You know what I mean? I'm high spirits, but it got nasty.
No symptoms anymore?
No symptoms, all good. So
Okay.
I'm not contagious anymore. I can roam about. Obviously, it'll be now. I'm guessing I've got the antibodies and all that, so I'll be pretty safe for a while. But again, yeah, man, it's that's why I wanted to sort of share this sort of experience, because I didn't know too much about it. I hear things. I'm thinking I'm young, healthy. Yeah, I'm going to be all right. And a lot of people who didn't even know I had symptoms. So yeah, it was just something that I thought, like, I think, me being a UFC champ, a healthy young man, and having this experience, I think I better maybe share that and let people know that this ain't no joke. You know what I mean? It got me good.
Did your mother write something on Facebook when you got sick? Was she upset about this?
Oh, well, she didn't. I didn't really let her be aware of it, but obviously she's just, yeah, she's
I saw a
she's just
thing where she was upset about my son, comes from a country where COVID isn't as bad. And he goes to, you know what I'm talking about? And he goes to the States, and like any mother, right? I mean, any mother would be concerned.
Look, man, she was just obviously a bit emotional at the time, and didn't know the full situation or anything like that. But again, we come from like Australia, like, there's not many cases at all back home. We don't know as much about it and things like that. So, obviously it's that's why she comes and she goes there, and she does hear certain things, and so she was just a bit of a overreaction.
Well,
Just
I actually don't
emotional
think
mother.
I don't think it was an overreaction, to be honest. And the reason I bring this up is because I want to ask you, and I was thinking about this with Brad Riddell as well. You guys do come from a country where the cases aren't as high as they are here, and then you come here for the first time in a very long time, and then you get it. And so I was wondering, at all through the process, were you sort of like, man, I wish I never came. I wish I never accepted the fight here. I wish I never, life was good back, where you start to think about things, right? Did you go through that process?
Of course, you think about things again, especially when, man, I want to fight. It's been a while since I fought, and then you hear all this type of stuff. You put, you know what I mean? Like, everyone knows I bust my ass when I'm training. I don't, I don't take any shortcuts. I do what needs to be done to be ready, to be in good nick. So, you know what I mean? There's sacrifices at home. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a family man. I pride myself on that, but I have to be a little selfish in camp. You know what I mean? So the last few months I've been just focused on training, and then I have to come over here. Then I get COVID. I got a quarantine. You know what I mean? It does, it does suck, but at the same time, you know what I mean? This needs to be done. The UFC, like, again, a lot of people, like my mum, even saying that, but I felt safe through the whole process. I thought everything was done perfect. You know what I mean? It was a good process. It was safe. We're in a bubble, but you know what I mean? There's just, again, I can't tell you where it comes. Like, it shows you how contagious this thing is, because it somehow got us. Could have been on the airplane, whatever. Could have been, obviously.
Yeah. Do you have any idea how you got it?
Oh, of course, we don't know, but it's just,
Right.
It could have been. But I mean, we tested negative, went in, and somehow got us, and then it got through a couple of members of the team, and it was just nothing we could do about it. And then luckily, it just didn't spread. Like, so the other boys were able to compete. It didn't even get Brad Riddell. Brad Riddell didn't test positive, but that fight was pulled, which was very unfortunate. But again, he was in close contact, and they're just again following all the protocols, and they just have to do what they have to do. So that was unfortunate. Once I heard that he got pulled as well, but again, it was a crazy experience. Again, it wasn't. You going through it, I'm just like, oh yeah, this is normal. Or, it's probably just a normal case. Don't stress. But again, I'm glad I got that second checkup. I'm glad that everyone agreed, the team and the UFC made me go back, and we went and got the second checkup and realized that the infection's getting worse. Let's get you on a strong medication. I'm still on medication and everything right now.
Okay.
But
any concerns about long-term issues?
Look, I think I'll be fine again. I'm a young, healthy. I think we got on top of it at a pretty good time. But you don't know, man. It's the more and more people you talk to, the more and more you realize how much people were struggling. Like, again, you have in the back of your mind your Hazmat, Cody Garbrandt sort of stories, and that sort of helped me make the decision. Oh, let's go get the checkup again, because we don't, we're young. I'm a UFC champ. I do not want lung problems. You know what I mean? And but we don't know now. But I'm feeling good right now. Feeling really good. But I am gonna make sure I listen to the doctors, listen to the people that got the right information, tell me how to go to this. So I'll be going to the UFC PI, and we're gonna build a structure and talk to my team and make sure we recover properly and do what needs to be done in the right way. Because the lungs obviously took a big hit on this one.
By the way, on March 27th, the date that you were supposed to fight, you're at that hotel, which is pretty close to the Apex. What was it like to be so close to the venue and not compete?
I was in the hospital.
Wow.
I was in hospital while I was watching the fights.
Wow.
So
did you watch?
I watched the fights. Yeah. So that was
oh my gosh.
That was tough. Obviously watching the fights, knowing that, man, I should be on this card. I'm sitting here in hospital, but I was glad that at least Jamie Malaki and Shane Young, members of our team and that were able to fight. So I was happy for them. But look, man, you just gotta not. You know what I mean? Like, you got to look forward, in these situations. Right. It's so easy to be negative and, you know what I mean? But I'm glad I was able to just look forward, stay positive. I say stay positive while I got COVID. But,
yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes, pardon the pun.
But, yeah, exactly. But, just did that. And then, to hear that at least while I'm here, at least, it's something to come out of it, to hear that I'm going to be a TUF coach. That's cool. I'm excited for this, at least it's something come out of this. Yeah.
Sure. And I will ask you about the TUF coach situation in a second, but I'm just curious, between getting better and the TUF coach assignment coming your way, did you consider going home? Like, how close were you to actually going back home?
Well, like, I was waiting to get a negative test. Because, again, I wasn't contagious, but I mean, because you got it all through your lungs and all that, the chances of you staying positive for a while is, that you might be testing positive. Like, they were saying it could be up to 20 days. You don't know. So that's we were like just waiting. I want to get home, but I need to, be able to test positive, right? Like, test negative so I can get home. So we're sitting there, and then literally as we're waiting to find out, when I could get home, we end up getting not confirmation, like end up hearing about maybe this TUF thing happening. And then, like, we had to obviously see if, Ortega was up for it. And literally I got confirmation for that 10 minutes before it was announced. So it was, again, it all happened pretty quickly because no one knew what was happening. Obviously the UFC were aware that, well, this guy's got to recover. He's going to be here. Maybe that's why they decided, let's do this. I don't know, but it all happened pretty quickly. And now, there's no point in me going home, because if I go home, I've got to quarantine for 14 days still.
Right.
And then I've got to be straight back here. So it's just there's just no point going home. So I'll be here in Vegas to stay till we start filming.
Crazy how quickly all that happened. So when do you actually start filming?
I'm not sure on the dates. I think it's later this month, so soon, like in a couple of weeks, few weeks.
And so the good news is you're getting this opportunity, and then that means there's no real rush to rebook you, right? So you can take the proper time to get better. I would imagine, because I know that Masvidal and Usman were in talks to coach, and of course they changed those plans, but it looked like the end would be August, September when they would fight. So is that the same for you, August, September or so, when you would fight Ortega?
I'm not exactly sure. I couldn't give you exact dates.
You're holding out on me, Alex. I know you're holding out on me. It's all good.
I know it's going to have to be after it's obviously all aired and filmed. But again, like, obviously talking to the UFC doctors and they were saying, like, look, you can't, like, I don't want you fighting. He was even saying, like, I wanted to get back in there. Like, they were talking about maybe May and that, early, when I wasn't getting too much symptoms.
Right.
But then, I was like, good, that's, that'll be sweet. Maybe, May or, whatever, June, whatever it's going to be. But Obviously got worse, and then the doctor's gone, look, I can't have you. I need you to recover, then get into camp. It's not looking likely till maybe June or something like that. And then that's when I end up getting information that, we're probably going to do this TUF thing. So whether the UFC got that information as well, I don't know. Again, it happened all too quickly. I can't give you any more.
I understand. The idea of coaching and being away from home for an extended period of time, how difficult of a decision was it to say yes? Because now you can't go back and see your kids and your wife, right?
Yeah, man, that's obviously tough. It's tough, but it's meant to be. It's a big opportunity. It's it's going to be fun. I'm going to enjoy it. I can't wait to share some knowledge. Have a bit of fun. Again, it's funny. I was just saying on my social media that there's no bad blood, right? Like with me and Ortega, but I'm a competitive dude, man. You know what I mean? Like I ain't losing anything. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to lose. So who knows what happens at this? But I mean, something that it's just good. There's going to be cameras in the face, and people are going to really get to know me. I'm the type of guy, like, we have interviews. You ask me a question, I'm going to answer the question. I ain't going to around it. I ain't going to push a narrative and do all this type of stuff. So, but I mean, to have that's why I'm even got my own YouTube channel and doing all this. So yeah, people can see a different side of me that people don't get to see. You know what I mean? And I think this is a good opportunity because this is going to be fun. There's going to be good banter and good laughs, and I can't wait for this. And then obviously people can really understand the knowledge that I have. And again, I ain't losing. My team ain't losing. The challengers, I ain't losing nothing. Uh-huh. I'm a competitive dude, and I'm a champ for a reason, and I'm going to show everyone why.
Yeah, I know there are different sides to you. I think you're doing a great job with your social media and your YouTube channel, which I want to ask you about in a moment. But I saw a video recently. There's UFC Volk, there's the Volk, and there's Dad Volk, I think. What's the difference between UFC Volk and the Volk?
Oh, mate, there's plenty of Volks. I mean, it's just, I mean, like you got UFC Volk, obviously. I'm going to do my UFC thing, but I mean, then you got Footy Volk, who, we're back in my footy days, your Mad Mondays. You wouldn't know. You don't really want to know them stories, but back when
Mondays.
I used to Mad Mondays, yeah, like they were pretty.
What's that?
Let's just say there's a lot of alcohol, a lot of crazy stories that people don't need to know about. But there's a different side of Volk that people don't get to see. Cooking with Volk, I mean, little things like that. Obviously, there's sides of not side, I'm doing obviously on me, but at the same time, again, we do an interview. You ask me a question about my fight, I'm going to answer it. You know what I mean? And that's just the type of person I am. I don't play no games. You know what I mean? But maybe I'm going to start playing the game. Maybe I'm just going to be pushing narratives. Maybe you ask me how you doing. I'm going to just not even answer your question, just talk some different. We'll see. But
well, are you saying usually are you saying this, Alex, because you feel like you don't get the attention that some other champions are getting?
Look, man, it's just look, man, it is what it is. You know what I mean? But I mean, I just need to be in people's face. I know that, I know all the people need to just need to see me. I just need to be in their face, man. It was a pretty quick rise to the champ. Me being from Australia, obviously, that's all right. But I know I'm going to keep winning. I know I'm going to be in people's face, and I know people are going to like me for who I am. And this is what's great about this the TUF series. People are going to really get to see me, and it's going to be good fun. It's going to be good banter, good fun, and you're going to see some. It's going to be good. I guarantee you.
Did you watch TUF over the years, and if so, who you say did the best job as a coach?
Man, I did watch. I've watched a few. I tried out for the TUF House before I was in the UFC myself.
Really, I didn't know that.
So yeah, this was early. This was when I was back in my welterweight days. So that's
wow.
So it was. So
what season was that? Do you remember?
Make it. Oh, mate, that would have been Australia versus England, maybe Australia versus Canada.
Okay, yeah, there were two of those. Yeah.
It was a long time ago.
The one that Whitaker was on.
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. Oh, no. I don't know if Whitaker was on. I think that Whitaker was on the one before that.
Okay.
I think this was the one that Jake Matthews and that was on.
Yep. Olivier Albert Mercier and those guys. They can't win. All right.
Yeah. So I didn't make it, and now I'm tough, and I'm coaching the TUF series. So it's pretty crazy. That's pretty cool to look at it that way.
Wait, so you went through the process? You didn't even get a fight? You didn't make it through the casting process?
No. So I went in there and yeah, just didn't make it. So this was early in my career. This was coming
Yeah.
off a loss as well. This was coming off a loss, and just yeah, didn't make it through. So this was welterweight.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I
Look
was
at you
fighting.
now.
I was fighting a featherweight. So I can't remember. I don't know. Was this? I don't know if it was straight after a loss or it might have been after a loss. Then I went to lightweight and had maybe my first win. But I was a lightweight, featherweight, trying to get into the welterweight. So maybe yeah, 5'6" welterweight. Maybe they're like, I don't know about that.
I would imagine you're not going to stay in that hotel for the next month, right? That you're going to get a proper house
Nah.
or.
Yeah, well, like I said, now I even got a test. I'm negative now, which is good. So I'm allowed to roam about. I'm allowed to do whatever. So I don't know. Yeah, we sort of stayed here just till we knew everything was all right. But yeah, now we're gonna probably head somewhere.
And what about assistant coaches? Because I know some of your guys went back home, right?
Yeah. So so some of them, my coach, Joe Lopez, is in quarantine right now because this hell happened so quick.
Right.
I just wanted to get them out of the country. I can't have my coaches. He didn't test positive. I didn't want him to get it. So I've told him, you go straight back. Pretty much as he landed, we found out that we're gonna do this. That he's gonna do 2 weeks in quarantine, be home for a couple of days, and then have to come straight back over here.
Wow.
And I think again we're gonna have Frank Hickman as well. Over for the house, I'm pretty sure as well. So again, we're still. It's Easter weekend as well, so
Right.
the communication. I think my manager's in contact with them right now, getting as much details as we can. Again, this all happened really quick, so we're still getting information, but we'll have a lot of that today.
Did you see? Brian put out a message after you had to pull out of the fight and gave you big props and was very respectful about it. Did you see that and how did that make you feel?
Yeah, I did. You know what I mean? Yeah, I did. And, I even commented on like, yeah, choose made respect. It's just, again, it's an unfortunate situation. I feel for him too. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He was ready and this happened. But, this just, it's out of my control. It's out of our control. What can we do? At least something's coming out of it. You know what I mean? We're thinking of rescheduling, but now this is happening, then we'll reschedule it as soon as we can, as soon as the UFC says it works.
And you mentioned earlier your YouTube channel, which I've enjoyed. Alex Volkanovski, just search that and it comes up. I really love the Cooking with Volk, man. By the way,
mate,
I don't know who shoots that and edits it, but they do a phenomenal job. That is high quality stuff. Like you don't just have a camera on you. Like the production is really nice. But you're a great chef, Alex. I had no idea.
Mate, I'm telling you, man. You know what I mean? I love my cooking. I enjoy it. And mate, everyone that's in sports and UFC, I know they love their food too. So it's really it's good. Obviously, I started doing it, then I had to get camp. I'm over here, and then all this happened. So we haven't had to put up a video, but we are about to put up a video, literally today, of this whole experience. I've got videos of pretty much everything we talked about. Me in hospital. I've got the videos. I've got photos of my heart rate, showing you how low my heart rate got. I got photos of me, the blood that I coughed up. There's a lot of details as me explaining the story as well. So go on my YouTube channel, check it out. And there's going to be plenty of content. While I'm here, we're going to be getting a lot of content here. Maybe I'll do some cooking with Volk while I'm here in Vegas. We'll see what happens.
Vegas style. What is the signature?
Where you live, Ariel? I'll cook you a feed, mate. Maybe I can do an episode with you, mate. What do you reckon?
Nowhere near where you are right now, but I would love it because I was watching you do the wings and the Wagyu beef. I mean, it's high quality stuff. What's a signature dish that you do? Like something really special?
The wings.
Yeah.
The wings. You just got it, mate. I'll do it, man. I'll cook a feed for everyone whenever I can. I'll get a whole heap of wings. I know everyone that loves their wings over here in America, so. Mine are good. I smoked my wings and made the flavor. I'm telling you, going to be some of the best wings you've ever tasted, Ariel. I can guarantee you that.
Macedonian style wings. I've never even heard of that, but they look fantastic.
Well, that's just my dad's sort of style. I got my own flavors, but that was a Macedonian type dishes that I did. Just that way, again, obviously each cooking with Volk's going to be different. I'm even thinking of maybe doing one with Chad Mendes sort of edition, because he's got his own cookbook and he's got his own rubs and things like that. So I might see what he wants me to cook, and I'm going to give it a crack. You know what I mean? Have a bit of fun with it. Again, I'm going to have a celebrity cook-off. I'm not cook-offs. I'm going to have them coming in. You know what I mean? All types of stuff. So the YouTube channel, like you said, it's great content. MC Media doing a great job. So shout out to MC Media. And yeah, we've got a video again coming out today. So check that out, and we're going to be pretty consistent. So again, get the content. Let people be in front of the people. You know what I mean? Again.
Sure.
Again, that's something that, I guess I was lacking. Didn't really care too much about your social media and whatnot. Where now I'm going to be in your face, and you're going to love me. I guarantee you.
You didn't post this video, but someone sent it to me. It was a video of you in the gym before you left singing. I don't know if you've seen this clip, and I have to say, once again, surprised. You had some great, some great, like the tune was good. I mean, the vocal cords, it was very impressive.
Mate, you might get some of that. Hey, I love my singing. So like I said, put a camera in front of me. You're going to get a different level. Like I said, I'll be singing in the house. Don't worry. In training and all that type of stuff. It's, that's me. So I'll be having fun. Obviously, again, they're going to be getting knowledge. There's going to be banter. Again, the boys that we've got there, Joe, anyone watching my social media, me and Master Spinner, Joe, and even Frank Hickman, wrestling coach and all that. There's nothing but banter, good times. But again, obviously the knowledge is there. But there's a lot of people going to get a lot out of it. I guarantee you're going to hear these vocal cords on the show too.
I like that. Before I let you go, so it's great to hear that you're feeling better. Big opportunity for you to be a coach on The Ultimate Fighter. New era now on ESPN Plus. But I do have to ask you about your old mate, Max Holloway, because I haven't talked to you since his last fight.
What a surprise, eh?
Hey, we went 30 something minutes and I didn't bring him up once, but I have to ask because he looked so good in that fight against Calvin. And now it seems like he's primed to get the next title shot. How would you feel about beating Brian? I know you don't want to look past Brian, but you beat him. Great fighter. And there's Max once again for a third time. How would you feel about that?
All right. So I'll make it clear. Obviously, Ortega's got my full
1,000%
focus. But again, you look, Max, man, there's obviously people are gonna, they're gonna say what they want. They're gonna hate me, and they love Max. Look, I like Max myself. I mean, I've got nothing against the dude. He looked great in his last performance. Whether people like it or not, obviously I threw out and said, it's different when you got me in front of you. You know what I mean? And that's the case with everyone. Even with Ortega and Zombie, he looked great in front of Zombie, but Zombie, let him do his thing. I ain't gonna let you do your thing. I ain't gonna. And I don't mean any disrespect to Cater, but you know what I mean? Max is not only is a great fighter, he's got a great team behind him. They did a great job in that fight. The way they put him on the back foot and just didn't let Cater have a chance. And, Cater was doing exactly what they wanted him to do. Max was turning him exactly where he wanted it and then was just able to piece him up. But again, I understand the game. So again, styles make fights, and he did look great. And again, obviously the UFC and everyone, we all know that Max fight's always going to be there and it's always going to be a massive fight. But again, I've got Ortega to worry about. So obviously he's got my full 100% focus. But man, I'll be lying to you if I said I don't think that fight will happen in the near future. So again, I ain't scared of nobody. You know what I mean? Again, all respect to Max. I know we respect him and his team. They respect us and myself and our team. But again, it's probably going to have to happen again. So, but again, we got Ortega to worry about. Again, styles make fights. There's a whole new heap of new challenges that I need to be aware of with Ortega. But again, I've got a great team behind me, and I know we're going to get the job done. And we'll see what happens after that.
So you won't be annoyed. You won't say, "I want someone new. I beat this guy twice." If that's the guy, you'll do it again.
Look, man. Again, I'm not. I'm going to let my team management and UFC talk about it. But again, it's a big fight. There's going to be money in it. You know what I mean? So you can't, again, like at the end of the day, I want to be successful and I want to make that money. But again, I do want number one contenders. That's why I'm fighting them. But at the end of the day, Max is going to be up there as well. So, if he just keeps taking out the top guys, he's doing it. Again, like people got to realize, people like expecting me to we're doing a trilogy before I even fought Ortega, but they don't even realize that they even, even Max moved on and fought someone. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, a rematch straight away just does not make sense. So that's why he did what contenders are meant to do. So, you know, good on him. He went out there and go, I'm going to take on whoever's there, show them that they're not next, and doing what exactly I wanted to do when I was rising through the ranks. I'm going to give the champ no other option but to fight me. So Max is doing a great job. We'll see what happens again. No hate there, but at the same time, there is a big story there. We'll see what happens, but Ortega's got my full focus, full attention, and we're going to put on a good show, and that's going to be an exciting one as well, because styles make fights, and I'm planning on really putting it on him, so I can't wait.
Well, again, I'm really glad to hear that you're okay, Alex. I know it was a bit of a tough month for the team. It started with Izzy and Brad and what happened with you. I know there were some bright spots here and there, but hey, in this regard, all's well that seems to end well. You get the big opportunity to be a coach on The Ultimate Fighter and a little more time to get better, and then hopefully we'll see you back in there towards the third quarter, fourth quarter of 2021 against Brian Ortega. So thank you for detailing all of that for us. I'm sure it wasn't a lot of fun to relive, but I appreciate you explaining to people how serious this can get, because obviously there are some who handle it different ways. So thank you for doing that, Alex. Appreciate it very much, and I hope that you continue to get better.
No worries, mate. Thanks for giving me the time and hearing me out.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.